Welcome to the Cookbook, where we invite guests on to share the ingredients of what has helped make them the successes that they are. All of it, the good, the not so good. You're not going to find anything half-baked here. And our kitchen gets messy sometimes. That's when the fun starts. So come on and join us. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Cookbook. I'm your host, Iris Goldfeder, and I am super excited about my guest today. And yeah, I know I say it about all my guests, but you know what? If I wasn't excited about them, they wouldn't be on. So I'm super excited. But today we have Andrea Feinberg, and Andrea Feinberg is in the group, The Dames, that I'm in, that you've heard me speak about. But she does all the things, so I can't wait to hear all of the things that that she's doing and into. So I'm going to read her bio, and then we're going to meet Andrea Feinberg. Okay, so president of Coaching Insight LLC, Andrea Feinberg has over 25 years partnering with business owners to radically accelerate revenue with a business that contributes to a happy, abundant life. And I said it before, who the hell doesn't want that? A frequent guest of radio, business summits, and conferences, Andrea specializes in big picture strategies through strategic marketing initiatives. A graduate of New York University's Stern School of Business for Marketing, Coach University's 3-year advanced training program, and a founding member of Coachville, the world's largest coach training body. Designations as Certified Strategic Business Leadership Coach, Certified Facilitator Coach, Certified Professional Behavioral Analyst, Certified Professional Speaker, Certified Emotional Intelligence Mentor through EQ Mentor, published and contributed to 6 books, including Time Junkie, 101 Tips for Biz Owners to Get More Time Now, The Essential Coaching Book, and Productivity. And who the hell doesn't need productivity? Okay, Andrea is proud to have had a measurable positive impact over 1,000 business owners, included among 50 top influential women, Long Island Business News, and my New York accent just totally came out, Product Development Award, McGraw-Hill Corporation, Product Innovation Standard & Poor's Corporation, Top 5 Coaching Blogs, the School of Coaching Mastery, 100 Women in E-Commerce, Women in E-Commerce Association, the Top 5 Productivity Gurus, TimeDoctor.com, Top Long Island Business Service Providers, 2019 Long Island Business News, 500 Credibility Experts 2020. Holy shnikes. So there's a lot there. So without further ado, let us meet Andrea.
Hi, Iris.
Hi. And holy shit, you've done a lot and are doing a lot.
And I do a lot. Yeah, my mom is proud of me.
Oh, I'm sorry, I cursed Mom. Never mind. She already heard them. I'm not worried about it. So, okay, so you're doing like all the things. So why don't you tell us about what it is that you're doing?
Well, I have been really fortunate to have had great business experiences, and I was largely shaped in my last job, which was with Standard & Poor's Corporation, which taught me a lot about entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship. Entrepreneurship, some of you may recall the subcorporation Saturn, which was an initiative of General Motors, and Saturn was set up to be, although part of the GM family, it was set up to be run almost as a, by the way, separate entity with different values, different structure, independently. And that's what intrapreneurship is all about. When you have the opportunity within a larger corporate environment to develop perhaps a business division or product launch that runs according to a different set of rules, and your parent gives you the money and the freedom to do it.
Wow.
So I learned a tremendous amount about those things working for what was the very last corporation I ever worked for, Standard & Poor's. And after I left S&P, I realized I can do this myself. I can go out and be a business owner. And I did. and hated it tremendously because I have a very creative side and a very analytical side. And my first business took me into the creative realm where I built a business in the handcraft gift arena. And I didn't like it at all. And I felt that I had left my personal sense of identity behind. And it was around that time that I started to hear about coaching as a new profession. And I started to explore it because one of the things I most like to talk about when I'm not buying new shoes is business. I really love talking about business and the opportunities and the so-called obstacles that people may think are there. And that led me to learn about coaching as a profession. I embarked on a 3.5-year program to learn about this from the acknowledged founder of coaching as a profession, Thomas Leonard. And went on from there. I went into coaching with an eye towards working largely with small business owners, who I firmly believed at the time and very often still encounter the fact that small business owners know a lot about their area of expertise or about a product that they may have become familiar with in their employed realm. They don't know a lot about building a business, and they don't know how to shift their sense of responsibility from being engaged in day-to-day operations instead of shifting to the more important role of focusing on what's next, right? Building business and nurturing, strategizing, envisioning all the opportunities that will come tomorrow. So that's largely how I built my business for the first 20 years of this century, and then had the great good fortune of being in the right place at the right time. At the beginning of 2020, a partner I had been working with, who was based in Eastern Europe, approached me and said, "Do you want to help me distribute this email multi-part course on digital marketing in the United States?" I said, "Sure." So we did. We started to build a large mailing list of people who were interested in all different facets of digital marketing. And guess what happened next? The pandemic struck. People stopped going to golf courses and having coffee dates and going to networking events and galas to build their business and started to turn to digital marketing.
Yep.
And so for me, I got the opportunity to pivot before I even knew I was going to have to pivot. And it's been tremendously successful. And so now I find myself often focusing on business development for my clients, which remain business owners, typically women in service industries. And when they have need for marketing support, I can either teach them to do it themselves or execute it for them. And there are many, many ways in which I'm fortunately able to get that done between myself and my team.
Right. And you have a great team. And I've had the good fortune of working with you. So yeah, the pandemic hit and a lot of things digital kind of exploded because yes, people weren't leaving their homes. Same thing happened for me as far as not leaving my house. A, I was like freaked out, so I wasn't leaving my house. But B, getting more involved on LinkedIn and building my network that way. You did it globally. I'm starting to do it globally, but nationally as opposed to locally. Yeah. So that just makes, I think all the difference. So yeah, your timing on all of that was was perfect. But you're doing a couple of things, right? So you have bossonthebeach.com. You're
Yes.
working with your partner in
Serbia.
Europe, Serbia,
Serbia.
Serbia, not
Yeah.
Europe, Serbia, and then you're doing something else, right? For
Yes, I was really fortunate. About 3.5 years ago, I was invited by a wonderful, uh, largely coaching company called Wide Awake Business. I was invited to facilitate the first of what became an annual leadership retreat for their women clients called Lead Her Up. And this is a sensationally productive yet intimate 3-day retreat on building leadership both for yourself, your team, and your legacy. And it was a very powerful beginning, and that relationship grew so that now I am the director of marketing services for them. And am very happy to be able to deliver whatever marketing services their clients need or recognize they need when they recognize that something could be done more effectively for them in the marketing arena.
wow.
So that's how I came to the Dames here on behalf of Wide Awake Business, which not only has served me but serves its clients beautifully with a tremendous array of services devoted to creating the kind of business that also allows you to enjoy a very full life. And that's so in sync with my own belief, because if you're not in business to enhance the quality of your life, what the hell are you doing it for?
Exactly. Yeah.
So really, that's always the primary objective with business development, whether from my point of view as a business owner and contractor, or on behalf of my wonderful client, Wide Awake Business, is really to ensure that the business owner is building a business that delivers value to all its constituents, whether customers, vendors, employees, but most importantly to themselves.
Right. And it's funny because this, so I've had two dames on so far, you and Amy Burks. Fabienne is going to be on, I think. Oh, actually, she'll be on this week too. And it's funny because the dames community has been, for me, a lifesaver. It's like I found my tribe, because to be able to find fellow marketers that want to help each other and maybe collaborate and not look at each other as competitors and rah, 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 to me has just been wonderful. Because we share information, and and not just the marketing piece. I think all of the women that I have met in this group are extremely dynamic. They're extremely successful. They are empathetic, and they get it. They get it, and they get me. And it's just been. I told Megan, who is the founder of the group, I told Megan the other day, I was like, I don't know if you realize what you built, because this community, it's global, right? And I just feel very humbled and, fortunate and, blessed and everything to be involved. I mean, it brought me to you. So, or you to me, or however, but we connected. So, and it was funny because when we first met, I knew that you had this breadth of experience it's pivotal to business. In whichever business you have, everything that you've done is pivotal to any client that you engage with and that you work with. So my question to you is, what made you decide to become an entrepreneur. So you work for Standard & Poor's, you had all these other jobs, and then what made you go, I'm just going to do this for myself?
I just knew I could. I knew I could. I felt first that I'd had excellent training. Listen, I can't lie. Standard & Poor's was such a tremendously powerful company to work for. I couldn't imagine working for any other company after that. It was diverse. It was humanistic. It was fun. It encouraged nepotism. I mean, they believed if you had your friends and family working with you, you're more likely to come to work. They had a huge 25-year club, and which is a concept that hardly exists anymore.
Yeah.
I got great training. I had a boss whose sister was a vice president before he was a vice president, so he was very much a feminist. I had a great experience at S&P, and I was running an $8 million division, which had a 75% return on sales. Now, if that doesn't give you confidence, I don't know what will.
Wow.
So I was very fortunate to have a great experience both in training and colleagues and success. And when I left, I couldn't imagine, now what am I going to do? There's no better place that I could possibly work. What could someone else give me that I didn't get here? And personal experience just led me to decide to develop the other side of my brain, which was the creative side of things. And I became a crafts artist for the next 14 years. And I spent a lot of time in that world, enjoying tremendously what I can create with my hands and being in an environment around people who express themselves through the work of their hands. But I really missed business tremendously. So I had the opportunity in 2001 to sell that business. And as I said, I had already embarked on training to be.
Let's get back to that because I didn't even know that part about you. So explain to me, Lucy, what
was I doing?
Yes.
It's the kind of thing no mother ever wants to hear that their daughter is doing.
I know my mom was like, you're never going to make money being a musician, but
yeah, I was a crafts artist working with exotic insects, butterflies, tarantulas, scorpions, walking sticks, grasshoppers, moths, beetles, all the creepy crawlies that, you don't want to see anywhere within your home. I was working with them on a regular basis, making exquisite 3-dimensional displays that were encased in plexiglass, which I sold to museums, zoos, interior designers, gift shops, galleries. And I did that for a long time.
You like encased bugs in acrylic? Is that?
In hollow acrylic. Yeah. So that's what I did for 14 years. And it was beautiful. I got tremendous compliments and satisfaction from being surrounded by the natural world. I mean, gorgeous things.
Wow.
I really missed business. And as I said, at the turn of the century, when I started to hear about coaching as a profession, and I explored it and met some people who were local to me and learned about Coach University, I jumped and I was able to sell my business to a woman who had been working for me. And so I embarked on that side of my brain and have been doing that now since 2001. And as I said, gradually shifted into marketing more specifically beyond just general business coaching. However, about 6 years ago, I discovered a new talent to work with beads, and I've become a bead artist. And I was making so much merchandise, I was just forced to create another business. And so for the last 6 years, I've been making and selling all kinds of things. Here's a piece I'm going to show you that I'm working
Oh,
on
good.
right
Let me see. Ooh,
now. See?
wow.
I'm working with right now. You can see my necklace. So that's what I do as well. And it just keeps my brain fairly well organized, left to right, creativity, analytical. And for me, it's been really healthy because, as I believe all business owners need to do, to step away from whatever your business is and immerse yourself in a completely different realm with different thoughts, surrounded by different kinds of people who think differently. Your conversations are different. It's refreshing. And it's great to solve problems that have been bugging you in the other business because you suddenly come back to that problem with a completely different perspective. And
Wow.
you're refreshed.
Wow. And
So
for
I'm
those
a
of you
pretty
who
good
didn't see,
model of what I advocate.
yeah, well, and for those of you who aren't watching this on video and are just listening, Andrea just picked up a couple of really cool pieces of jewelry. So is that the Boss on the Beach?
No, that is Andrea Bedazzles, which
Okay.
right now is just on Facebook, facebook.com/Andrea Bedazzles. Bedazzles.
Bedazzle. Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Okay.
Not original, but
Yeah, no,
it's the first thing that came to mind.
it's catchy, and it's
Yeah.
our marketing brains, right, make us do the, like when we were thinking of the cookbook or the name of the podcast.
Yeah.
It was Kofi and I were sitting here, and we were like, okay, we're going to do the podcast. First, I wanted him to do it with me, but he said, no, you need to do it alone. And I was like, I don't want to do it alone. But long story short, here I am doing it alone. He wanted to produce it, so here I am. But we were thinking of a name, and it was like, okay, well, the name of my business is Gas Stove Creative, so we should do a play on that. And then that's how the cookbook came, and then recipes for, and then it all kind of fell in. And then, so the Bedazzle to me doesn't even shock me because that's, I think, the way our brains work. So, wow, I'm just like so shocked because going into this, I'm thinking two businesses. And now, there was the, the bugs in acrylic, and I don't want to call it bugs because I feel like I'm
beautiful entomological specimens.
There you go. Beautiful entomological, because you said, it was bugging you, and I wasn't going to go back to that, but I had to because that's just the punnist in me.
Yeah.
But yes, so you've just done so much. I'm a little speechless, and I can't be speechless because it's the podcast. I'm supposed to be talking, but
I'm supposed to be talking.
Crap, you've done so much. So how do you incorporate? So I get the separating, the having to separate the business piece and doing the creative piece. Cause, I'm a musician. I think, I'm a musician.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I've recently, and I'm not going to say I'm going to blame it on something, but I've been feeling the bug, to do something again. We moved in the house, we bought the house, the owner left me the piano, which was amazing. I probably know enough to be dangerous. I can write songs with it, but I'm no pianist. Like if you said, go play in public, I would say no. Now my guitar, that's another story. And I started thinking that, I was getting so wrapped up with business and some not challenges that I'm having, because I don't think they're challenges at this point. I'm just trying to map everything together, right? So I have that piece, and then I have the podcast, which is about business, but it's very conversational. So it's not really a business thing, even though it is kind of tied to Gas Stove Creative. And then there's the creative piece. And that's something that I've really been looking to get back into because of what you're saying. It's the same thing. It's having that separation and those completely different conversations, because when we talk about business all the time, and the people that we're surrounded with are only business people, it kind of gets a little stagnant, right? I think that we each have our different diversities that aren't just, talking about business. Everybody has their, own, different pieces to them. But I think by and large, the conversation does go back to business. And I think that it's important that entrepreneurs, or just really anybody who's working, right, has that separation. So I think that that's phenomenal. And and the amount of things that you've done, like my mind is blown right now. So
I haven't mentioned the 7 years of community theater on, singing and dancing on stages.
So should we sing something? So what do you know on? Come on.
When you compose your theme song, I'll sing that for you.
I have to see, now that's another thing, because we pulled like this rock thing because I sang rock, but I've also done everything from, my mom, the 40s. So a little bit of, what's her name? Who did, oh shoot. Okay. I can't remember now. But Sinatra and Perry Como, like one of the songs that my mom and I sang together was "And I Love You So." And my mom's voice was so beautiful, and I was very fortunate to get that from her. And when we sang together, it was, you talk about harmonizing perfectly. It was just beautiful. But anyway, so you've done 7 years of community theater. You started 4 businesses, am I right? So we had
I'm not counting.
We're not even counting. Okay. So do you miss corporate at all? Like, do you even?
Well, some of it. I miss the collegial aspect. I mean, not everyone gets that in a corporate environment. As I say, I was really lucky to work for a very special corporation. And despite the fact that I can say that Standard & Poor's was collegial, it was independent, it was flexible, it was kind to all kinds of people when it was not yet fashionable. It was part of a larger corporation, which was a union shop, which is very interesting because Standard & Poor's, I don't know if it's still the case, at that time was owned by McGraw-Hill Publishing.
Right.
And McGraw-Hill was a union shop, and S&P refused to institute a union. It was very independent. And so I missed that. I had a lot of friends at S&P. I had a lot of resources, a big budget. Nothing came out of my pocket. And I certainly miss that because now everything comes out of my pocket. I certainly do miss that. And I'm very fortunate to have built a great reputation in my community. But in those days when I called and said Standard & Poor's, you could hear people sit up straight because this was a corporation that had tremendous impact on their stock,
right,
on how well they were known throughout the investing communities, how much attention they got throughout the investing communities, because all those investing communities depended upon Standard & Poor's for information, right? So, that was certainly a big perk. But I've been I'm very fortunate because I'm disciplined and capable. I don't believe in false modesty. I am disciplined and capable. And, here it is, 25 plus years later, and I'm living a comfortable life, doing work that I really enjoy with people who I largely respect and learn from. I mean, I love it. I love it. Plus, I get to play with beads and stones and pearls and shells and all kinds of fun stuff. So I can't complain.
That is amazing. I'll bet you get shells like right in your backyard, probably, right? Or not too
far
from.
I'm 4.5 miles from Long Island Sound.
Okay.
Not many shells there, more like diesel from all the yachts that.
Oy.
Yeah.
Goodness. Yeah. Well, yeah, because of where you are. Absolutely. Yeah. Gosh, it's like you've lived. I was talking to Lindsay Hotmeyer and we had dinner at Harry and Izzy's last week. She's another dame and she was lovely. And she's like, you've lived like 1,000 lifetimes. And I'm listening to you. I'm like, I've lived one lifetime. You've just done so much and you've been, gosh, so successful at all of it. No, you're welcome. And I love the no sense of false modesty, because own that shit. You shouldn't be modest. You've accomplished a lot. I mean, that's, that's, but, so for people who are thinking of becoming entrepreneurs, and man, you've done the artistic route, you've done the business route. What advice would you have for somebody who is either working in a company and thinking of starting their own business right now, or they just started their own business, or because I think that you have so many different angles to come at this from.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what industry anybody is in, the angle is the same. Unfortunately, it's extremely easy to go into business right now. All you need is a credit card and a cell phone, and you can go into business. But if you want to sell products and services and develop a revenue stream, then you have to have something else entirely. And that is an awareness that there is a problem that you are in a position to solve in a way that nobody else can. And if you're not in a position to do that, if you don't know the problem that your desired audience is trying to solve, or the opportunity they're trying to amplify, and if you don't know that, then you're sunk with whatever it is you are offering, because nobody cares about your product. Nobody cares how much money you put into developing it. Nobody cares about your quality, your promises. All they want to know is, and you know this, Iris, what are you going to do for me?
Yep.
What's in it for me? I don't care about your product. I don't care how you solve my problem. I just want to know, can you solve my problem? Whatever it is you're selling. And so to those out there who are thinking about going into business, you've got to know, who is my audience? What are they looking to achieve? Either they want to solve a problem or amplify an opportunity. And believe me, pain relief sells a lot more than pleasure. And where are they hanging out when they are receptive to your message? That's what you got to know. And if you don't know that, don't bother printing the business cards.
Bam. That is okay. People take that shit to the bank, because that is it 100%. So you just covered, what is your differentiator? Mm-hmm. Because you have to have a differentiator, right? You have to know your audience, and you have to know where the hell your audience is hanging out. And I have been saying that forever. Like my videos on LinkedIn, people are like, well, how much social media should I do? It's like, you know what? If your audience is on LinkedIn, be on LinkedIn. If your audience is on Facebook, be on Facebook. If they're on Instagram, if they're on Facebook and Instagram, go there. If they're on TikTok, wherever the hell they are, that's where you need to be. And
some of them are on little league fields.
Yes.
Right? Some of them are in bars or delis.
Yep.
You got to know.
We don't have delis in Indiana, really, so that doesn't count.
I'm sorry.
So,
that's
I know. I miss them. I can't wait. I'll be home. I could say this now. I'll be home next week. So, I can't, like, the first thing I'm doing is the first thing I'm going to do is go to the bagel place. But then the next morning I'm going to have a bacon and egg on cheese, because I can't get a bacon and egg on cheese here. But I digress, because now you bring the whole New York thing. But it's true, because the whole, at the end of the day, I think what entrepreneurs don't think about when they're first starting is, do I have that viable product, right? Because if you can have the product, that's great. But if you don't have the people to buy the product, then you're screwed. But
then you got a nice hobby, but you don't got a sale.
Exactly. No. You don't got a business, right? But here's the other thing. And God, you hit it like so perfectly. they don't give a shit about what they don't care that I'm marketing. They don't care if I sell promotional items. They don't care what I'm doing. What they care is, am I going to solve a pain that they have?
Exactly right. Yeah.
That's it. And when I talk to people, and I've been told I'm not a salesperson, and I'm not, and I realize that, so I'm actually probably going to hire a salesperson, because all these years I thought I was great at sales, and I wasn't great at sales. I was great at solving problems. But at the end of the day, you have to sell your product, so I get that. But so I'm going to talk to somebody, and now you're making my New York Jew come out like big time. Okay, so Kofi's probably sitting there going, "What the hell?" Which is hilarious. So, but it's so important that you know that you are able to solve a problem. And my former business partner is a brilliant businessman. He is a brilliant business guy, and he always, like, we would talk about, what's the issue? Well, I need to buy a drill bit. Why do you need a drill bit? Well, I need to drill a hole in the wall. No,
That's
no, you need to drill a hole in the wall. Why do you have to drill the hole in the wall? Because you want to hang something, or you want to, so there's like a dual purpose. So yes, you need the drill bit to drill a hole in the wall, but what is the hole in the wall going to do?
Right. It's going to let you hang something on the wall that makes you smile every time you walk by it. And that's what you're selling, your customer smile. That's it, right?
Oh my God, I love you. Yes. I mean, 100%. And it's true. And so for you up and coming entrepreneurs, understand that, like, really understand that what you're doing, you are taking this product that you have, but the product has to solve a pain. And people say, you don't want to do scare tactics, and it's not scare tactics. The reason people are coming to you is because they have a problem. And if they have a problem and you don't have the solution, goodbye.
Yeah. And the thing is, your product is not what someone buys. Your product is a delivery vehicle to reach some resolution or transformation or impact a person is looking for, right? So what are they looking for? You just gave the example of buying a nail to put something on a wall that makes you feel great when you walk by it. That's what they're looking for, that opportunity to feel good.
Right.
The nails that you sell, the drill bits that you sell, the plaster that goes around the hole in the wall, those are all vehicles that get you to the desired destination, right?
Yes.
Which is whatever emotional shift your customer is looking for, whether it's happiness or pain relief or a sense of wealth and success or sex appeal or feeling healthy. There's only, as we say, there's only 3 things on the planet anybody ever buys, and that's wealth, health, or love. There's nothing else to sell.
Love, she says. You're 100% right. And here's the thing, right? When you are selling something, people buy from emotion.
Yeah.
So when you're solving a problem, you're bringing out an emotion in that person, right? You're basically telling that person, I understand that this is the problem that you need to solve, and here's how we're going to solve it. And when you get to that point, now that person feels really good. They feel heard. Mm-hmm. Because I have been in so many freaking sales meetings or not sales meetings, sales calls where the person is just talking and they're not even listening, or they're, the prospective customer is talking, and this salesperson is literally, like, I can see it on their face that they just want the customer to be done so that they could say what they need to say.
Yeah.
And they're not listening. So if the client doesn't feel like they're being heard, you lost. Number one, you need to listen to them. You need to really take in what their problem is so that you really can provide a solution for them. I mean, that's at the end of the day, I think that's just what it is. So, okay. So now for a seasoned entrepreneur who right now has their business and I don't know, what obstacles have you had to overcome in your career as an entrepreneur to get you, where you are now? I know there's probably a whole bunch. So, but
as I mentioned earlier, I twice completely changed my sense of identity. I went from working for a high-profile, world-renowned corporation on Wall Street to becoming a crafts artist. And that had a psychological component that I did not anticipate. I lost a sense of importance and who I am. It was my first time in business for myself. It was a business completely unlike my former working environment, in which, as I say, I made millions of dollars. I had a team of employees. I had budgets that I could spend with impunity. And I became self-employed in a completely different arena. And I said, who the hell am I today?
Wow.
I can't walk into a room and command the same level of respect that I used to by virtue of my employer's name. I then learned I had to create that level of respect for myself with my own actions. And that was a difficult lesson to learn. And one of the things I learned along the way was that despite the fact that I made a really beautiful product in the arts world, it was not really where I saw myself. And so I was fortunate to sell that business and shift into business coaching. But once again, I had to create a new identity and a reputation. So I did a lot of writing. I did a lot of public speaking, which fortunately I like even better than peanut butter and jelly. So I had to do the things that would quickly get my name out there and associated with the kind of business that I was both delivering to clients as a service provider and able to deliver for them in the results they wanted to see. So creating a lot of content, whether from public speaking or contributing to 6 books, as you mentioned early in your remarks, and blogging and offering a lot of free workshops, and being asked to speak and seeking out speaking opportunities. That was the way that I had to completely recreate myself when I went back into a business arena as a business coach after having shifted into crafts artist. So
wow.
Those were the obstacles.
Those are okay. That's really, and thinking of leaving that type of a position from S&P, and I was talking to Fabienne, and she said that a lot of athletes, right? The athletes, once they stop becoming athletes, what are they? Who are they? And I almost hear that in what you said as far as leaving S&P and starting the beautiful entomological. Why can't I say that? Entomological. I think I get that, because here you are, the shit, and now here you are, and you're like, oh shit, right? Like what happened? So you went from the shit to oh shit. I'm trying to behave, because like on the ratings, it's like, is this explicit? And an F-bomb gets dropped every once in a while, but shit, I think I'm allowed to say. But anyway, so, but I can see how that can really kind of be jarring. But the fact that you even recognized that you missed business, and, so you said goodbye to the artistic piece, and then you did business, but now you're doing the business piece and the artistic thing. I mean, I think that it's so, you're like so freaking inspiring that I truly mean this. Just, looking at what I've learned of your journey today, because I didn't know that before this. It's just, it's very inspirational.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing it, because I think that, a lot of people out there listen, and they, so many people say, what do I want to be when I grow up? Right? What do I want to be when I grow up? Okay, well, I had my business. Okay, now what do I want to be when I grow up? I think that that's always evolving, because we change, right? And I think that, like, my business changed. Yes, I'm still doing marketing, but now all of these different services are at my fingertips. So, for local, we're doing video production. For global and national and whatever, we're doing podcast production. I just got an animator on my team, which is great for just so many different things. So thinking that I was just going to be doing digital marketing, and now all of these different pieces are availing themselves to me, is making me look at what I'm doing. And the cool thing about it is that, Amy Burks is like, you don't have to figure everything out all at once. And when she said that, it literally, I felt like she gave me permission to not freak out, because for a while I was going, oh my God, I have like all these things that I can do. But I think what I'm doing now is letting everything happen very organically. And I know people overuse that word, but I really feel that that's what's happening for me. And then hearing you incorporating, art as well as your business, it's like you can do all the things. My wife and I were talking last night, and I said, I really want to get back into a band. And I was actually going to call somebody who I was in a band with before. And she was like, no, you're not going down that road again. And I was like, but I really want to get out there. And he's looking for somebody. She's like, no, because that didn't end well. And as a lead vocalist, when you're leading the band, it's like the quarterback, right? You're leading the band. You're kind of, running the trajectory of it. And so, but I realized last night, which is why this is so timely, that I want to get back into singing. I want to get back into performing. And I feel that it's almost a no-brainer at this point, because, you have the artistic business, you have the business, and here I am going, I have to focus on the business. I have to focus on the business. And it's like, hey, I can also do this piece. And so I feel, I don't know if anybody else listening feels better about it, but I feel a hell of a lot better about it, because now I'm going to definitely go back out and do that.
Good for you.
So thank you for that. That's what I'm saying. It's very inspiring.
Thank you.
To me, for sure. So, and I almost don't even want to ask this question, because I always ask people, why should somebody choose you in your field and somebody else? But holy shit, why wouldn't they?
Well, I can answer that. There are so many coaches. There are so many marketing strategists. I mean, look at you and me. We're in the same profession, right? Mm-hmm. There are so many people who offer what may appear to be similar or almost identical services. And you can't deny that price may have a factor. But in the service arena, I've often felt that part of what someone buys when they choose to do business with me is they're choosing a relationship with me, because I am the person who is largely either delivering the result they want or acting as their ambassador to my team to make sure they get the result they want. And they have to feel that I get them, that I am comfortable hearing from them, that I accept their input or criticism or disappointment if it comes to that. And they also have to feel that I know what the hell I'm talking about, because they're asking me to participate in changing the way their business operates and succeeds. And they have to feel confident that I can do that. And so I can only present myself in a way that says, I really do know what I'm talking about. But if we're not a good fit, if you don't like me, if we don't get along, that's okay. That's okay, because there's always someone else. I don't live in a world where there's only so much available and we all have to compete for it. Yes, I want to compete as an expert, as a credible, value-driven provider. But the world is huge and there are so many opportunities. And just as I, have shifted from one profession to another, and who knows, maybe I'll do it again. People have the opportunity to select the provider, even from among 2 or half a dozen providers who offer identical services at comparable prices. They have to feel good about the investment they've made, because they are making an investment and they are expecting a return that delivers far more than what they put in. And I am the person they're asking to deliver that value of far more than what they have invested. And if I can convey that in the way I speak, in the examples I show, in the case studies I share, in the referrals or recommendations and glowing remarks, mom aside, then they'll choose me. If they don't, I can certainly ask, what could I have done differently that would have made you choose me?
Yep.
But it's ultimately their decision. And that's perfectly okay. That's perfectly okay. And I hope if they choose someone else that they do get the impact and the results they want. There's certainly plenty of credible people out there who do exactly the same work I do. I can't badmouth people. As they said in, I just remembered that wonderful Christmas movie when Santa Claus, who worked for Macy's, was sending everybody to Gimbals.
Oh,
right. Miracle on 34th
yes,
Street.
yes.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Yep.
You've got Santa Claus, who really is Santa Claus, having all these kids
come away if nobody saw it
to visit with him, and they're asking for various things, and he's saying, Macy's doesn't carry that, but Gimbals across the street does. And they wanted to fire him until they realized, wow, what a great public relations thing this is, that we're collaborative. And that's how I think we ought to be, collaborative, or, cooperating with each other. Sure, you want to compete on value, but never by bad-mouthing someone else, only by expressing what's best within you and the opportunity you represent to your prospect or customer. There, choose me, don't choose me. It's your choice, but you'll be missing out if you don't.
There you go, 100%. Wow, that is so eloquent and and so true. And it's true, because when you say that, we're the ambassadors, right? We're the people that the clients deal with, whether we're providing the deliverable ourselves or whether, we're the face of the company and we're, helping other people, not helping other people deliver, but, like we offer our, video services, and I'm always there. Whenever any video is shot, I'm there, because I'm the people that I'm the one they have the relationship with. And so I get that 100%. They have to trust you. And I always say they have to know, like, and trust you.
Absolutely.
100%. So I love that. And you're the expert in what you do. And we do similar things. I would refer people to you in a heartbeat.
Thank you.
I mean, I would, because, I've worked with you, and, uh, yeah. So, and I think you're right. It's got to be, or it should be, collaborative. It should be something where it's not a mean competition, right? And I think there's just a lot of that out there. There's just a lot that I've run across, a lot of fellow marketers that are just shitty to each other, and there's no reason. There's enough business to go around, and then some.
I think there is.
So why be negative?
Yeah. And look, I mean, that's all the feel good stuff. But the truth is, I really work at doing a great job for my clients. It's important to me because I want to have a success that I can put on my website. And if I don't do a good job, I don't get that. I want to know I was able to serve this client to improve the way they work, the way they serve their clients, the way they go home at the end of the business day and feel we had a great day. I know that happens not just through the work I do with my clients, but through the remarkably capable and responsible team that I've put together that has the same attitude. Whether in video production or in social media distribution or campaigns or keyword research or web auditing or web design or copywriting or graphic design, all these fabulous tools that marketing has developed, all with the same age-old purpose to communicate to some desired audience that you're in a position to deliver the benefits they're looking for. There are so many ways that we can do that. And part of the role of a marketing coach is to say, these are the particular tools that probably work best for you right now, given your resources and given your goals, right? I love that. And I love learning from my clients because the coach in me is always learning from other people how two business owners in similar businesses facing similar obstacles can come up with completely different solutions.
Yep.
I love learning that because people think differently, they prioritize differently, they have different goals, and they discover different capabilities within themselves through the process of coaching, which is a marvelous thing to see happen. And so I love all of that. I'm in this for my self-improvement, right? And I get that through the people I meet and work with. And this is one of the reasons why I love talking about business, because it reveals so much about the people conducting the business.
Interesting. And I had something really powerful said to me. Not that that's not in the back of my mind, I guess, but over Christmas, locally, I deliver little, I'm not going to brand them, but I get these petit fours, and I drop them off, as a thank you and as a, Merry Christmas. And because there's really no Jewish clients that I have here, so it's all Christmas related. And but one of my clients, looked at me and he said, Iris, it's not lost on me what you do. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, it's not lost on me that your efforts and what you do for me helps put food on my guys' tables.
Wow.
Helps put food on my table. And I'm going to get teary now. It made me look at what we do in a completely different light. I have never looked at it the same, because yes, we want to help people grow their business. Yes, we want to, help them get a return. But holy shit.
Yeah.
They're feeding people, right? I mean, right here. And I think that it is our responsibility that when we are hired, that we do the best job that we can, and that we get innovative. If there's something that isn't working, well, then let's figure it out, and let's, figure out what can work. And that's why I love what we do. I love the marketing piece, and I love the helping the businesses grow, because yeah, you know what? We're feeding people. And
uh, that was such an evolved compliment to receive, because too many people still think of marketing as manipulative or deceptive,
exactly.
or showboating. And I disabuse people of that on a regular basis, because if I'm in a position to deliver some benefit to someone who has been frustrated searching for that benefit, well, shame on me for not raising my hand and saying, here it is. This is what you've said you've wanted. I can do it for you. Don't you have an obligation to put those people together? Someone who is actively looking for a solution to a problem, and here you are able to provide that solution to the problem. Isn't it your obligation to make it happen?
100%, 100%. And that's why I love what I do. And that's why I love getting to meet people like you who are of the same, the same thinking, right? And of the same heart. Okay. So this has been an hour, over an hour. These always go so fast. But I always, at first I want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day. Because as we know, you're busy, and I really appreciate, you taking the time out and talking to me, and, letting the audience hear your expertise and your many lives that you've lived, and, your advice and all of it. And I always ask this question when I'm ending the interview, and that is, what truly lights your fire? And it could be personal, it could be whatever, but what's the one thing that fires up Andrea?
Well, I'm a ham. I like all eyes on me at all times. I have to say, it's one of the reasons I love public speaking. But when I do something on behalf of somebody else, whether it's, a great coaching conversation, or delivering a logo, or making a piece of jewelry that somebody buys, these are such great compliments and validating moments when someone acknowledges that and says, you did a great job. Thank you. Because we all have a tendency to downplay our gifts and strengths, because we're so accustomed to doing them with ease that we forget these are gifts that we have. And when I do something that really represents to someone else something they hoped to get, or something that made a big difference for them, and they tell me, baby, my fire's been lit. Thank you.
That is amazing. And I get that 100%. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And you guys, everybody who's watching and listening and downloading, while we're at it, please like, download, and subscribe, and share this if you're getting value and if you're enjoying this. But thank you, everybody who is listening and who's become part of the audience. We're fairly new, and I appreciate everything that everyone's been saying. You guys have been saying really great things, and I really appreciate it. And just thank you for hanging in there and for giving, spending your time really with me and my guests. And I'm going to tell you guys, go out and find what lights your fire. Till next time, Iris Goldfeder. We'll see you soon.